Hey, Shawnee from SpeedCubeReview.com. I have a package from SpeedCube Shop. It is a new YuXin 3x3. Let's take a look. So I'm liking all of these new boxes that companies are having. So we get much nicer feeling of that unboxing, and it just feels a bit more premium. This is the HuangLong, not to be confused with the HuangLong or the YuXin or any of those other ones. And this is from YuXin. They're the ones that made the Little Magin. And a nice little pamphlet inside with how to solve it. Don't need that. We have the cube, as well as alternate springs. Actually, why do I not hear people talk about the springs whenever I look at this? Or there might have been people. And then we'll talk about these weights too. Those are little weights, ball bearings. They're not for like a click like you would have for a Scube. Now the stickers are very similar to the YuXin Little Magin. It actually, the Little Magin, there's the same size. Yeah, it just felt a little bit bigger. Must have been a little bit of bump there. As far as the stickers, did I replace some of these? I don't actually think I did replace them. Yellow seems a bit thicker. You can see a little bit through there. I don't know if it goes through the camera. Blue the same. Red is different. Red is now a fluorescent red. Prefer this red for sure. Orange is about the same. Now I hear a lot of people complain about stickers with YuXin puzzles, and yeah, when it first came out with the Little Magin, they were not the nicest of quality, but they changed very soon after. So that's not a problem anymore at all. One thing that's different with this is that we have some primary internals, not all of it, but a little bit, and we don't here. So let's do some turns with this. Nope. So let's see here. Tensions aren't too bad, but it's extremely dry. I'm just going to dump a little bit of lunar. I have some left here, just to get some lubrication in here. Now, often dry cubes can actually be faster than ones with a bunch of lubrication, but this is not. This is not faster at all. This just seemed to want to catch a lot. Move that lubrication around. Oh, that's a lot better. Okay. So I guess first thing, if you're going to get this, if you don't have any lubrication, this is from SpeedCube Shop, I would pick up some lunar. That's the lightest one they have, and I use it in my big puzzles. It's a really nice one. You can just dump a lot in to get that lubricated feel without worrying about slowing down the puzzle much at all. Yeah, this is so much better. Oh, I was really worried there. Okay, so as far as how it turns, honestly, a lot like the Little Magin. It feels maybe a little bit faster, maybe not as stable. This one was really stable. I do have magnets in there though, so that's not the best comparison, but this one has that stability, but not quite as much. Now I'm looking through a camera, so it's not going to really be a speed solve, but I'll just put this back together through the camera lens, and then we'll get going with the rest of the review. Where am I looking? Okay. I'll do some solves later though. That way you'll have some of those on camera. I'll just put those at the end of the video. So as far as the general feeling, it feels like a little bit more flexible YuXin Little Magin. Corner cutting's nice, as it was here. Now this one can come with magnets. I did not get the magnetic version. It does seem to come with extra springs, but let's talk about those weights. What the weights are for, and I'll take this apart so you can see that, is they go into the corners to add just a little bit more weight to it. And the idea is it's going to add a little bit to the outside, so when you turn it, and they sit right in there, you can see a little hole right there, that it holds a little bit more of that turn, that speed. This is not the first time this idea has been implemented. GAN originally had that. If you had the 356, they didn't end up actually doing it. It was in some of the advertisements, some of this sites when it first started appearing showed weights, and it more of just looked like that they were nuts that you would put on a bolt. It looked just like that. They were, I think, hexagonal. Is that right, or octagonal? I think it's hexagonal. Yeah. And so much bigger than these are. And I did an experiment with them. It was actually one of the very first videos I ever did. If you go to the channel and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the videos, or just, I guess, search GAN weights, it didn't actually do too much. I could feel that there's a difference, but not enough to really affect the turning. And it really didn't do too much here that I really cared to keep them in. So I just took them out. So I guess they're implementing it here, but with this being so light, I can't even really see it doing too much, if anything at all. I might not even test that because I've already tested weights in the pieces and it doesn't really do too much. But I am curious about these springs. So I'm actually just going to take the springs out here and then test the other ones and see how they compare just by feeling them. If they're heavier springs, lighter springs, or if they're the exact same and just replacements. Now, one thing that is interesting is that it's not the same springiness all the way through. It's a little bit lighter in the middle. We've seen that before with the MGC and the GTS, although it was only tighter on one side, not on both. And I don't know if tighter is the exact word to use, but the actual coils were closer together. Here's another interesting thing. There's a washer between the actual end of the screw and the spring. You don't see that too much because it's not super necessary, since the screw itself is metal and it's not really going to scratch that up. So here is the regular spring, and here is the new one, the replacement one. It's shorter. I can't really tell. It almost seems like this one's tighter and this one's looser. Just because if I go to the same height right here, that seems a little bit harder to push down. I'll use the same hand. And not, whoa, no, I'm losing all the springs. Yeah, it feels like these might be tighter. I'll definitely have to check that out, and I'll do that in a separate video. I'm definitely going to magnetize this, so after I magnetize it, I might do that. If I don't make a full video on it, I might just make a live stream and talk about it there. So I'll give you some general thoughts here while I show some solves in the video, and then leave it at that. Like I said, I do plan on adding magnets. From what I've heard, like 4x2 and 35 might actually be too strong, and I do have some 4x1 and 35, so I'm going to put those in the corners and the 4x2 in the edges. If I want it stronger, I can just add another 4x1 on top of that. If I describe it, I'd honestly describe it like a YuXin Little Magin, but slightly more flexible. It doesn't really feel like some of the other ones like the Valk or the GTS or the Air, or not even like the MGC. It actually feels quite light and not super premium feeling. That's one thing that sometimes feeling more budget puzzles, like the Warrior W kind of felt slightly premium just because it didn't feel super hollow. It had a nice sturdy feel. Since this does have a little bit of a hollow and light feeling to it, it does feel a little bit cheaper. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, and some people really do like that light feeling, so don't take that as this is a bad cue because of that feeling. Even without magnets, it performs great. Remember, magnets are not necessary for puzzles, it's just a feeling that a lot of people like, including myself, and that's why I'm adding magnets to it. If I did have to compare it to any of the top premium cubes, I would say maybe closest to a Valk. It kind of has that feeling to it, more the original Valk and not the Valk Power. I know a lot of people are going to ask, how does it compare to the MGC? Because that's the other budget puzzle that is out right now, and I almost want to say it doesn't. They're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. The MGC is definitely heavier, has much more of a solid feeling, and it's a bit more flexible. The MGC I almost feel like needs magnets. I like that more stable feeling. The HuangLong already has that stable feeling to it, so it doesn't necessarily need magnets to be more stable, although if you like that click, of course it wouldn't hurt. It is currently at Speedcube Shop, and that's where I picked it up. It's cheaper than the other premium ones like the Valk or GTS or the GAN especially, and so if you want something that maybe feels like a Valk but is a little bit cheaper, this could be the way to go. I do like that there are extra springs to it. I'm hoping this becomes a thing where all cube companies give extra springs or magnets even, or other things, so you can really personalize the puzzle to your own liking. I like the springs already, and it seems like the other ones are lighter, but I haven't tested it yet. I like heavier springs usually anyways, so even if I do switch it, most likely I will end up switching back. So that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe, and more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for more news and reviews.